All right. It's kind of hard because getting into situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. This is actually a little bit closer than we think it is. Long. All right. Starting off the career. Dang. This is actually really close. Like I'm really thinking. All right. I'm gonna give my analysis on all three. I feel like with Bryce Young's situation right now, he doesn't have a great offensive line, and their receivers can't get a lot of separation. So I think he's gonna have to be more of the playmaker, like we saw his last year in Alabama. And CJ Stroud, again, it's still a developing team. Anthony Richardson right now has the best situation because he probably has the best offensive line out of all of them, and maybe the best receiving core. Not well, none of them really have a great receiving core so far. But no, I do like CJ. I'm just gonna say Bryce and be safe. I was gonna say CJ, but I might go Bryce. Depending on if Anthony Richardson hits his upside, then go AR-15. But it's super close between all of them because they're all in such different situations. Kind of hard to evaluate right now. I think right now, Bryce. I think starting off in their career, probably AR-15 might have the most success or might start off the best. But long term, I think Bryce is gonna get to it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brandon. What says you?
Um, Anthony Richardson is out of there, but there's no hate to the guy, but he got to develop his arm talent and stuff like that, and well IQ and stuff.
Well, accuracy. I'm gonna say accuracy. He got talent.
But me, I'm going Bryce Young, because the situation there, the defense is top tier. Bryce Young got weapons and stuff like that. So, and it's no hate to CJ Stroud too. That dude's tough, but like, I just think Bryce Young is just in a better situation and stuff like that. So,
All right. Jay Bailey. Which one better career would you take?
See, I'm going with Young too. I think he's just in a better situation. I think that they'll build around him. Not that the other teams won't, but I just think that he's in the best situation. He's going to develop quicker and have a better career.
All right, Maria.
I'm gonna try to be unbiased, but it's like I don't know because we talk about like better situation. This, then the third. Like we see quarterbacks who started off who were drafted into terrible situations, and now they're working their way up with other quarterbacks who were drafted into good situations. So, and potentially the player that was drafted into a bad situation could surpass the player that was drafted into a good situation. Um, I want to go. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck between Bryce and CJ. I can't pick.
go ahead and say it, Maria.
Can't
I
pick,
know where
man.
you going.
Pick.
Bryce,
We
baby,
all know
Bryce.
where
Can't
she's going.
pick. I can't, man. You're gonna make me look crazy.
Bryce.
I can't pick. It's between those two, Bryce and CJ.
All right, all right.
She with
Okay.
me, Bryce.
I'll let it slide. Zay, can you hear us, dog?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's
What's
good,
up,
Zay?
man?
What's
We're
good? What's
doing a
good?
discussion. Thanks for hopping on to the pod, man. Before I let you speak, Man Down Sports said Deshaun got an entire demographic that hates him, wants to see him fail. Don't think he deserves the biggest guaranteed contract in the NFL, so he has to live up to that contract while dealing with hate. And he also responded by saying Bryce Young is part of a franchise that don't believe in putting a lot of talent around their franchise player. The Panthers have a history of paying one guy on offense and making him carry the team. I mean, you could look at Cam Newton, for example. But I do agree with him with the Deshaun Watson point. So Deshaun's going to have to deal with that. But Zay, between Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, which one of the quarterbacks do you think will have the better career?
See, I know I'm by myself with my answer, but I think
Zay.
I honestly think I out of anybody, I could see the potential in Anthony Richardson.
It's not
Mm.
crazy.
I
Oh my
I,
God.
I think I've seen the Colts build good teams multiple times around top drafted quarterbacks that they've had in the past. I've seen them be able to make something out of nothing almost right after getting a quarterback. So I can see them having the potential to get good receivers to put around him. They already have a pretty good O line. The defense needs worked on, but they'll be good. I think his intangibles are able to progress with the NFL and how the NFL is directing towards quarterback wise. I think he only needs to work on his arm talent and his accuracy really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the
And
minute he gets accurate is the minute he becomes better than both of them because he has everything else.
I actually do agree with that, honestly, because like he doesn't really have if he just gets his accuracy up, because he's the most athletic quarterback since Cam Newton probably, or Lamar
mhm.
Jackson, however you want to think it is, whichever one
Or
of those,
Justin Fields.
or Justin Fields. I had those three. He's just a athletic freak because he has the height, size, and strength, even the speed. He has that great physical combination, and he even the arm. I'm gonna say arm strength. I'm gonna say arm talent because we all have different definitions of what arm talent is. But he has the arm strength. Like he can throw a deep ball and he can get the deep pass. It's just can he throw the passes in between the numbers and the outside routes to
Mm.
make his game more complete.
Zay, I'm glad that you mentioned about Anthony Richardson. Do you think, and maybe I may be exaggerating, do you think Anthony Richardson can have a high ceiling like a Josh Allen or hell, even
Mm.
Brandon's quarterback, Justin Herbert?
I can definitely see it. I think the minute he becomes like his accuracy, like I think people exaggerate a little on how bad it is. Really, I don't think it's as terrible as people make it sound. But I think the minute he steps up to that NFL star level accuracy, I think the comparisons to Cam Newton are just getting better and better.
Hmm. Brandon, you want to respond?
Only thing I'm worried about really is the IQ and his accuracy. That's the only thing I'm worried about with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally it.
I think I know where Maria was gonna go, but I'm gonna
I
go with
did too.
CJ. I'm gonna go with CJ, and the reason why I'm gonna go with CJ, I like CJ coming out of college, even though he lost against Georgia, Jay's team, but he did put on a show.
Yes, sir.
And I think CJ Stroud, he's not the most athletic quarterback compared to Bryce and Anthony Richardson, but I do think he's mobile enough. And I like where the Houston Texans are right now as an organization by bringing in D'Amico Ryans, a head coach, former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. So he's definitely going to do his part as far as helping out the defense. And also, the third overall pick, the Cardinals, they traded to the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans drafted the best player available, which is Will Anderson Jr., which was a big steal for them. So I think you have CJ and Will Anderson Jr. as the cornerstones of that franchise. And I believe CJ is going to get better. John Mechie, the third, is going to come back. So I think him with Dalton Schultz, who I like Dalton Schultz a lot from the Cowboys. So I think as they continue to build around CJ and give him some more talent on the offensive line and some weapons. And I like how CJ throws the ball naturally. I think CJ will be okay. I think he'll actually do fine. That's how I look at it, in my opinion.
Mm.
So
It's the
and yeah, Maria, I see your opinion. PSP spitting me. Just because I'm a Michigan fan, I don't love Ohio State. Let me be clear about that. I'm a Michigan and Oklahoma dude, but at the same time, I'm fair minded. I always keep it real. So that's me.
Honey,
But
yes, love it.
I like CJ. No, I keep it real. The truth is the truth. My mom was a lawyer. Look, I learned everything I can from my mom as far as that lawyer, that truth mentality. But I like CJ. I think CJ, I go CJ, I go Bryce, and I go Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson has the higher ceiling amongst them because of the athleticism, the arm, and what he could be. Josh Allen, when he was drafted seventh overall, the knock on him was the accuracy. If Josh Allen had better accuracy, better anticipation skills coming out of college, he would have been the number one overall pick. Brandon, your boy Justin Herbert, even though I've criticized Justin Herbert for big games and crucial situations, but if he had better accuracy as well, he probably would have been the number one overall pick because he has all the physical tools that you want from a quarterback 6'6, 235, 240, a cannon of an arm, athletic mobility, and stuff like that. That's what you want for most quarterbacks, that prototypical size. So I think Anthony Richardson does have a higher ceiling because of the size, the arm. But I'm gonna go with CJ for now. So now we got that out the way. Let's talk about some college football. Now, predictions for the Heisman. Now, again, folks, this is just the board that I created. Apologies. There are some other players that definitely should be mentioned in the Heisman conversation, like Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the Ohio State University. Also, another player that I think that should be mentioned for the Heisman conversation is Jay Bailey's tight end, Brock Bowers, who will be a bona fide top 5, top 10 pick in the NFL draft because he has that type of capability and skill. So, Brandon, I'm going to let you go. Who do you have winning the Heisman?
It's between two people. It's either Marvin Harrison Jr. or Caleb Williams. It's between them two. I'm gonna go Caleb Williams though. Caleb Williams. I think he'll have a great year again.
All right.
And, yeah.
All right. Oh,
go ahead, Dev.
Well, for me, I was literally when I was at work, I literally made like a whole top 10 finalist list in my head, and
go ahead.
I'm gonna go through it real quick. So, number 1, I had Caleb Williams, just repeating. Number 2, this might be a surprise. I'm gonna go with Michael Penix because I think because they have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the nation. He came off a great year, and he's poised. I think he's gonna have enough wins in the Pac-12 to be in the conversation. Number 3, even though his team is not as great as the other players, I think Drake May is going to have the numbers. I think Drake May can sneak into it. I think he's the second best quarterback in the nation. 4, Marvin Harrison. 5, I put 5, I put Jaden McDaniels for LSU
Dev, you're lagging a little bit.
6, I put my boy Cade. I'm lagging.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Am I better now?
You were lagging a little bit. Now you're better. Now go ahead.
Okay, I said 6, my boy Cade, my Clemson guy, my boy Cade. Number 7, I put Brock Bowers. 8, JJ McCarthy. 9, Blake Corum, and 10, I put whoever Ohio State starting quarterback going to be.
All right.
Nah, I ain't going
there. I'm surprised you didn't mention. Did you mention Bo Nix, Dev?
That's out.
I forgot about Bo Nix. Never mind. I gotta redo it now. I gotta redo it. Hold up. Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Drake May, Bo Nix. Matter of fact, I'll replace Drake May and Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix will be 3. Drake May will be 4. Marvin Harrison 5. Cade, Brock, Blake, JJ, and yeah.
All right, Zay, who's your Heisman pick?
Yeah, so I feel like the easy answer is Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr. So I'm gonna try to go a different route. I'm gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if Drake May found a way to win it due to the season he had last year and the way he played, his numbers and whatnot. I could definitely see him going up by the fact that I think his team is building well around him. The college is pretty good at building, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're better. Another person who I think it'd kind of be weird for him to get it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got it, would be Jordan Travis.
He's
been in college since 2019 now. And every year it seems like every year he's just getting better and better. His numbers are getting better. He's the type of player that he could have a 4,000 total yard season easily. And if he plays well enough and his interception to touchdown ratio is looking good, I could see him winning it too.
All right, Maria, who's your Heisman?
I'm gonna be honest. I gotta go do more research on the Heisman stuff, but I'm just gonna go Caleb Williams because he won it last year. for right now. I want to see somebody else, but I'm just gonna say a safe answer, Caleb. Right.
Even though a lot of y'all say Caleb Williams, and that's fair. Marvin Harrison Jr., that's fair. I like the kid Michael Penix Jr. from
Me too.
Washington.
I do like him too.
I think this will not only be a great chance for him to be in that Heisman conversation, but also with the draft. Even though I believe Caleb Williams is the consensus choice for the number 1 overall pick, and I believe Drake May is the second best quarterback, but I think he can definitely be in that conversation. Also, another guy that we forgot to mention. What about this kid from Texas, Quinn Ewers?
It's a lot of talent this year. Like I think there's a lot. It's a really talented class for quarterbacks. Like there's a lot of good quarterbacks, and especially if they have a good year, that can increase their draft stock a lot because it's not just Caleb Williams and Drake May. Like I think Michael Penix is very like if Michael Penix doesn't get hurt in college, he's like his draft prospect is way higher than what it actually is. He's a lot better quarterback than what people think it is.
All right. That's not, I mean, I can't knock you for that.
My only thing with Quinn Ewers is I feel like if the team is doing good and he's already showing out by like 10, 11 games, could you see a world where since they have so many quarterbacks that are good in their depth chart that they take him out so that way he doesn't get injured right before the draft?
What you mean?
That like the Longhorns depth chart is good enough to where you probably could sub him out and put him as a backup quarterback for a few games.
No, it is. They have the best quarterback room in the country.
Yeah, and you would be fine. So that could ruin his Heisman opportunity if he's not in the running.
Oh,
like
I see what you mean.
If he's not top 2 and there's like 3 games left, he's going to the NFL next year. So do you risk hurting him when you have 2 other quarterbacks that can play?
Well, I don't think they'll do that because let's say they do have a good year, they could be in playoff contention, and if he's performing the best, then they're gonna play him because he gives them the best chance to go to the playoffs and give him a national championship opportunity. So I don't think that will happen unless if they're doing bad, and then I can see a bench and like if it's like midseason, like 5-5, 7-7 in there, they're gonna go over like Malik Murphy or Archie Manning. It's kind of crazy how they got all 3 of them, 3 of these quarterbacks right there. One of them is gonna get transferred out, in my opinion. But
right. Go ahead, Dev.
I think I do hear you say, but I feel like it really depends on his performance, on how good he performs, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to move on to another college topic, and we're going to do this one before we do start, bench, and cut, and we're going to wrap it up the show. Which one y'all want between Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Joe Burrow, or Vince Young? Maria, you go first.
Tim Tebow.
Why Tim Tebow?